Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Okay, so I just did the part one of just a bunch of books that I got, and I'm going to do part two. Do I want to be this close or do I want to be farther away? I don't know, let's find out. Well, maybe, I don't know. I'll move closer and then we still, I don't know, it just seems weird. Something seems weird. Something seems off. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but stop bouncing. Stop bouncing. There we go. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go through the last half of the stack of books I got. Just if you didn't see the first the first part of the video, or the first part anyway of this off the shelf collectibles video. I'm basically getting rid of a lot of books. I've gotten I've gotten bags of books that I've gotten rid of, bags of movies I've gotten rid of, let me say that again. I got couple bags of books that I've gotten rid of, and I'm going through all my movies, getting rid of a lot of the ones, because I got like 3,000 movies up on the shelf, and etc., etc., some in some drawers and everything else. Getting rid of a lot of stuff, just downsizing, basically. Maybe I can have some room for some more cool collectibles or something, but also I want to get one of the shelves out of the way, so just see how it goes. But anyway, this is the focus on some books, and I did one video just a little while ago. Check it out. It's somewhere that way. I don't know. When you're not monetized, where is it? Over there? Is it over there? I don't know. I don't care. I just do this for fun. But with that being said, let's get into this one. I'm going to put my glasses on, these weird old man glasses that I found in the park that are actually really amazing glasses. I just wish they looked cooler. But moving on, this one here is Charlie Chaplin. Great big coffee table book. It's an older book, and you can tell by this, it's like the shit you see in libraries and stuff. See, I'm going to look real quick and see if there is a date of this book. Not that it should really change the history of Charlie Chaplin, because, this came out in 1983. So, yeah, from 1983. This is an older book, but it's a good book. It talks about his career, talks about his, got a lot of really good pictures in here. It's mostly, actually, I think, you know what, I think it's more about his, it's about his movies. You know, you got some still images, some still shots of just the films he's done, and there, you know, when you do this, like, remember back in, I don't know, well, my generation, I don't know about kids now, the teacher would read a book and then she would do this. So everyone can see the picture. I know that's what I feel like when I'm doing this, showing the pictures on the screen. But yeah, pop that there. But these are in the collection of the books I'm keeping. These aren't the ones I'm getting rid of. The ones I'm getting rid of, they're boxed away, and they're boxed away. I don't know. They're on the way to the thrift shop. But this is Laurel and Hardy. This is a really old book. You can tell by the thickness of the pages and stuff. It's very big lettering, but I don't know. It's just got some good pictures in there. It talks about, I believe it talks about the history of them. I read it a long time ago, but I do really like Laurel and Hardy. Going back to Charlie Chaplin, I like the silent era films, the slapstick stuff, and you know, like Buster Keaton, what's his name, Fatty Arbuckle, I can't remember his real name, but you know, Laurel and Hardy also did a lot of slapstick stuff. The irony is that in real life, that on the screen, Hardy abused Laurel all the time, and in real life, he was actually a big teddy bear, and he was kind of an abusive drunk. Don't want to be hating on anyone or anyone hating on me. Those are just the facts. But there also is a really good movie called Stan and Ollie, I think it was called. John C. Reilly was in it, and I can't remember who played Laurel. I can't remember. I haven't seen it. I saw it once, and I really, really loved it. And it's one that if I do find it on DVD, it will go in my collection. I did really enjoy it. And I think you should check it out if you're a fan of Laurel and Hardy, as you should be, because they are amazing. or they were amazing. Check them out. They're iconic. And Godfathers of cinema, like one of the early, you know, greats. I'll just leave it at that. I have no other way to put it. This here is a companion book to the series Oz. If you have ever seen the series Oz, sorry, my mouth's getting a little bit dry. It was a prison show that ran from, I think, the mid 90s to like 2001, 2002, or somewhere in there. I have the whole series on DVD. I really like this show. It's very inaccurate to what actually goes on in prison, according to what I've read online. And a lot of people that have done time say comparing Oz to real prison is like comparing real life to a soap opera. So I kind of get that. If you see the show, it kind of plays off that way with a lot of violence, a lot of death. But it is really entertaining. The first 2 seasons are really solid, and then gets a little campy for a while for a few seasons, and then the last season or two, it does actually get pretty good again. I mean, it's good all the way through, but it gets more believable. One flaw, though. For some reason, in the entire show, there's no yard. And that's one thing that a lot of people that have done time, I've seen comment about it, that there's no yard on the show. And even me, I've never done time. I've never even been in jail. I picked up on that a long time ago. Like, why is there no yard? They're never outside. They're always inside. But I didn't write the show. But anyway, that's what this is. It's the diary of this character here. Oh boy, what's his name? Trying to see if it's on the back of the book. Oh boy, I can't remember his name. Oh my goodness, the character's name. Let's see. It's dang it, and darn it. Augustus Hill, right there. It wrote there, the Journal of Augustus Hill. That's who's played. Who's playing it? It's all basically done like a diary. And if you watch the show, Augustus, he's a character. He was a former drug dealer. He shot a cop, and then he got thrown off a roof and ended up as a paraplegic in prison. And then during the run of the show, in between certain scenes, he would do like a little monologue, usually in some kind of a costume, and there might be another character from the show also in a costume, just as a little kind of talking about certain things about prison life and what's going on. And so it actually really added to the show a lot. I really liked it, and it was well done. And that book is basically a diary, written out version of what he was talking about. So it's a good book. If you like the show Oz, then yeah, get that book. It's really fun to read, I guess. This one here is a book of celebrating Bogey, Humphrey Bogart, of course. He's got a lot of pictures, a lot of things. Talks a bit about his movies and stuff, but it also talks about, where he came from in the cinema and his relationships there, like with everything. It's just a decent book. Yeah, Lauren Bacall. I don't know why I couldn't think of her name. I actually had to look it up when I saw her. But yeah, like, very also fantastic actor, both of them. They were married, of course. Done a few films together. But if you like Bogart, check that book out. And if you don't know who Bogart is, look him up. And then, well, you probably won't find any of these books. I don't know why I checked this book out, but I'm just saying, they're good books. This one here, a huge tabletop or coffee table book, The MGM Story. This is a good book. I haven't read the whole thing. I've gone through it, but it basically goes through like the years and everything else, like what was going on, and a lot of the big films they're making at the time. Doesn't really go into a lot of the detail of how the films were made. It was just basically it talks about the films, and the years and everything else. It's a good book. It's an older book. I'm not sure what year it's from. Probably from the 80s, if I had to hazard a guess. I'm not going to dig through. I really do like the cover art. It looks really good. Got the lion and this, and I don't know. It's really well done, and all little collage of celebrities on the front and the back. It's a really nice looking book. I'll give it that. But it doesn't go to a lot of detail. It just kind of talks about movies from the catalog. And then on the same note, we got Warner Brothers. Kind of the same idea. The history of Warner Brothers, and this one goes into a little bit more detail. But again, it's kind of the same idea. It's just kind of talking about movies and how they were done and who was in them. A lot of artwork, a lot of great pictures in this book. It's a really good book. Giant coffee table book for sure. So them. They're talking. Going into the monster stuff. That's them. Giant ants. Really fun movie to watch. That's a screenshot from Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which was a huge influence on. It actually was the sole influence on Godzilla. It's some artwork by stop motion work by Ray Harryhausen, but excellent film. So we're gonna get down to the last few books that I specifically saved for last on purpose. I'm gonna start with this one here, Chainsaw Confidential. This book you can still get very easily. It's an excellent book. If you love the film The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which anyone who knows me well knows it's my favorite horror film of all time, that and Night of the Living Dead from 1968. This is an excellent book written by the man himself, Gunnar Hansen, who plays the original Leatherface, seen right here and right here. It goes through the book, how the film was made. He does it in film chronological order as opposed to filming chronological order to make it easier to read, which is really, I mean, to me it would have made a difference because I know the film so well, I would have known what was going on anyway. But for people that aren't as familiar with the film but do still really enjoy it, this is a great book. And he did it that way just so you can read along as you remember watching the film. This scene, this scene, this scene, this scene, this is how it was done, and this is how it was done, and this is what happened. It's an excellent book. Done by the guy who plays such a, I don't want to say, he's not evil, but because he doesn't know any better, but just one of the most iconic killers of horror cinema, horror history. And if you're wondering why the camera's shaking, we got a little cat right here, little lammy monster. Little bugger here, being a little monster, moving the camera around, but that's okay. I love her anyway. And there she goes. But and there he is also, Gunnar Hansen, and Gunnar, my other little kitty, is also named after Gunnar Hansen, after this man right here. But he plays one of the most iconic killers in cinematic history, and he is a. Well, he passed away, but he was... Oh, now what are you doing? Now she's being weird. But he was a big, lovable sweetheart of a guy and a poet and just not a bad person at all. There's actually, you can go online and he's done interviews and walkthroughs of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, which is a restaurant that's been relocated, I think, twice now. And it is... What are you doing? No, don't eat the tree. You're just eating the tree. Gunnar usually does that. No. I don't like to spray them, but I do have the water bottle there. I don't have to, I just have to show it. I generally don't have to spray them. But anyway, and yeah, it's a restaurant now, and it's been relocated a couple times, and he's done at least one walkthrough that I know of. You can check it out online, and you can actually see his personality, how nice of a man he actually is, as opposed to the brutal character. But interesting fact, though, if you watch the movie, if you notice, the house is this wide, but when you walk into the house, all the action takes place on one side of the house. And the reason for this is that they had permission by the owners of the house to film there, but they had to take everything out of one side of the house and move it into the other side of the house, And so that side of the house from the staircase over was used for the movie. On the other side of that, now I don't know if there's a fake wall there or how they did it, but the other side, the people that owned the house were still living in there at that time while they were filming. And I don't know how much they got paid or how it worked, but that's why the house looks this big from the outside. And once you get in, you're like, where's the other half of the house? But anyway, that's why. Now, down to the last two books. This one here, actually, I really like this book. I'm going to always hang on to this book. And the reason is a girl I know from high school, well, she's not a girl, she's a woman, family, husband and kid. Husband's in a fantastic band. Can't remember the name of it, or otherwise I would say it. But she had a horror store down on Queen Street, downtown Toronto. And I didn't know this. I was downtown with my mom, actually, and Tracy. We were walking down Queen Street, and I saw the store. I never really noticed it before. And I saw this in the window. I was like, oh, wow, I want to go get that book. So I walked inside. I walked in, and I looked. I saw her, but it didn't click that that's who it was. And then she goes, "Oh, hey, like, hey, Jack." But she said my real name. She said, "Hey, Jack," and I was just like, "Huh?" And it took me a second. And her name's Lori. I was like, "Lori?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Holy crap!" And then we started chatting a bit, and then that's when I found out she's been doing. Well, I had already known this, that she was doing gore effects or effects for movies and stuff like that. I think she did something, had something to do with the remake of Dawn of the Dead, but don't quote me on that 100%. I think that's where she had done some stuff, done much other things since and before then, I'm sure, absolutely. But just that was one of the things she had mentioned to me when I asked, oh, like, what? And she showed me some pictures, her with Tony Todd and Tom Savini, and and she'd met George Romero and all this, pretty fantastic life, man. I have to give it to her. That's crazy. And the ironic thing is, when I first met her way back in high school, we hated each other. One of the first things she said to me after I sort of got to know her, but I didn't like her. I'm not gonna say what it was specifically, but she insulted my girlfriend, and I was so fucking mad. And we were in a coffee shop with a bunch of other friends, and I stormed out. I was like, "Fuck you, bitch!" But there's other pictures of me online and everything photos I've taken and stuff of us getting along really good. Not a ton of them, but just, group settings and things like that. We became, good friends. And it was really cool to see her after all these years and realizing, and I'd seen her since then. She was hosting like these movie nights down in Toronto. There's a place called the Bovine Sex Club, which is an underground bar. It's been there for fucking decades. A lot of bands hang out there and stuff once in a while. It's a really good place. If you're downtown Toronto and you like the alternative scene, you like, good rock, you like good metal and stuff like that, check out the Bovine Sex Club. It's fantastic. But she was hosting this thing, and she was DJing too as well. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. So it was a cool night. She did that once a month for a while, and great person. Name's Lori. I know she went by Gory Lori back then, like in terms of who she was, and like that was her DJ name or something. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, great person. But yeah, that's why I'll hang on to this, because I have so much respect for her, and I just wandered in there by chance and got this book, and it is a really good book. It just talks about horror movies and how they're made. It's just the generic sort of thing, but it's detailed. Now, one of the most important books in my collection is this one here. This is probably, well, it's not the oldest book I have, but it's one of the first books I've ever owned. I don't remember the year, 80s it came out. Let me look real quick if I can find it. 1985. This book, Horror Films, Nigel Andrews. Right there, you got the remake of Nosferatu right on the cover. American Werewolf in London, of course. Twilight Zone and Swamp Thing. Right there. And on the back, that's from a film called Ghost Story, which is an excellent fucking movie. But the reason this book is so important, it was the first book that I ever had in all my collection of horror books, or my movie books in general. And the reason I have this is that I was out, I'm going to put that down for a second. was out in the mall, Square One, biggest mall in Ontario. Um, Not at that time, but it is now. It's massive. I haven't been there in years, but I looked it up. It's huge. But anyway, I was in this bookstore and I saw it and I asked my mom to buy it. At that time, it was probably like $5, right? For change for inflation, I'm going to say about $150 now. No, I'm kidding. But probably about $12 now. I don't know. But it wasn't very expensive. My mom bought it for me and I read it cover to cover. I've even, back then, yeah, what do you call photo, what do you do when you put the thing in the copier, copy the picture anyway and the light goes through, whatever. I can't remember what it's called now, but they still have them now. I don't know why I'm not thinking of it, but a photocopier. Yeah, photocopy, yeah, there, photocopier. And I put the pictures up in my locker of some of the scary pictures, some of the Frankenstein posters and stuff in here. It's a really good book for its time, and that's actually really what got me super intrigued into horror films and cinema. I already liked them. That's why I asked for this book that is a horror film book. And I read it cover to cover, and I've kept it all these years. It still has the original slipcover on it, because if I really like something, I guess I take care of it. But yeah, this is probably, out of all the books, if I had to keep only one book, it would be this book. And just because I've had it since I was a teenager, like it came out in the 80s, and when this book came out, it was a new book at the time. So I treasure this book. I treasure this. My mom bought it for me way back in the day. I was like I don't even think I was in high school yet. I think it was like grade 8. And now I'm 50 and I still have this book. That's why it means so much to me. And I will never get rid of that book. But anyway, this is part 2 of Off the Shelf Collectibles, my books. It's not all my books, obviously, like I said, but it's a good number of them. Video ran kind of long, but that's okay. I don't mind because I had nothing else better to do. But if you want to hit that subscribe button, which I should have mentioned in the beginning, I say that all the time. Dummy me. But yeah, here, let's do a clickbait. Hey. This. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, hit that subscribe button, and that's all I'm really gonna say. Watch some movies, have some fun, eat some popcorn, and just get along with each other. And until the next one, bye.